The locusts are beasts, beasts from beneath. We wanted to see them in dark places, but see that face that just kind of peers out of the darkness, you know, and would steal children in the night, that type of thing, you know.
We really wanted this idea of a subterranean monster and not an alien. And so when a lot of the visual development that people like Chris Perna put into it was that idea of what happens when you take a creature and push it subterranean for a long period of time. And so that led to the sort of albino skin and the idea of this sort of lizard man kind of look.
With everything we did, we tried to separate what would make a cog and a locust a locust. Cog have energy and gas-driven vehicles and weaponry, and locusts use beasts and kind of twist and torture things into doing their bidding.
It's a game about killing those monsters and feeling empowered as you chainsaw them in half. So going from the sort of Xbox 360 version to the Xbox One version, we had to look very carefully about how far to push things. And so really what we tried to do is really try to stay true to what was there, but kind of clean it up.
The Locusts are a bit of a motley crew. We have the giant boomer, we have the drone, and creatures like the corpse are kind of compiled out of lots of different anatomies.
We really wanted to amp up this idea of they're earthy and they're dirty and they have a lot of cracks. And if you look at the Locust weapons, they have a lot of they look like dry earth sort of cracking on the paint.
So even for things like leather and metal, we created standards. So we had one specific set of metal, one specific leather texture and skin texture that we could then share across all the Locust characters. And in the end, this made them feel all like they belong in that same world and like they all came from that one place.
You even see elements of kind of real world things in there. So where armor sits against skin, you start to see that the skin looks ill and worn and sore, for want of a better word.
You know, one of the nice things about remastering and sort of this modernization that we're doing is we have more time to think about these things. And I think that one of the bigger ones is Rom, as an example. You know, Rom, he was a kind of an enemy that came on late, and we ended up we were behind in production, so we sort of took a simpler path. And so why not, instead of putting the same production kind of limitations and constraints we had on us back then, 10 years ago, is there a way to sort of say, if we had given the original artist an extra month to make him, what would they have potentially done differently? And so now you see that in his visuals and in his texture and his shape and his size and his coloring. It's like, it's still true to what Rom was, but it's tweaked a little bit and taken a little step further because we had that time. And so what we've tried to do is kind of really pay honor to what was there and the original vision that the original artist had, yet take it to kind of a slightly newer place.